Hey guys, we're working on a 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. We're installing a buggy whip up on the back on our Smitty-built rack. And it has two mounts for lights. So I'm getting the buggy whip back out. So we're hitting the trails this weekend and we wanted to run the whip. So we're doing that because we're taking it to the desert this weekend, and areas like Glamis out here in California require a whip at night to make your vehicle seen when you're in the sand dunes and stuff. So we're gonna run a wiring harness to the back off of the auxiliary switch panel. One thing important to note is that auxiliary switches number 1 and 2 are always live, even when the key is off. So 3 and 4 are not live, but you see, okay, we switched to accessory and 3 and 4 are still not live. Turn it to run and 3 and 4 do come on. So we're just going to show the locations of the harness real quick and the way that we ran the wiring harness to the back of the vehicle. Okay, so we have our off-road lights turned on, switch number 1, key off. Important thing to know is that when you hit your switches inside, it makes the harness outside active as well as the harness that's inside. We're going to hook the wire up for the whip to the wiring harness inside, and that'll be on switch number 2. I'm going to pull this seat for easier access to the kick panel and the side panels. It takes a T45 Torx bit. And then go back to the front again. Here's the connector for your airbags and seat heaters, so pull your connector real quick. Here's the airbag connector actually. Seat's ready to come out. So I'm gonna hook the buggy whip up to number 2. So we're going to go down and test with a test light and see which one lights up with number 2. I'm not really worried about the amp draw because that buggy whip is all LED. Couldn't be more than a couple of amps. So these are rated for a certain number of amps. If you have anything that takes a lot of amperage, you should check the owner's manual and see how many amps each circuit takes, and then verify with the accessory you're installing. We have a good ground location right here for the test light. We're going to cut the tape to expose the wires a little bit. So I'm going to hook up the whip to number 2 and figure out which wire's live on number 2. Got this little piece of 1/8 inch plate steel so I don't poke my finger holding the wire up. See if this one's live. There we go. It's a green one. So that's a pretty big circuit. Thick wire. Looks like 12 gauge, probably 20 or 30 amp circuit or more. Guess you'd have to check the book. We're gonna pull all these panels off first because we want a clean installation. We're gonna run all the wiring underneath, and let's do this. This on. Nothing like buying a new vehicle and tearing it apart. So this will be easy to run the wiring behind here. Let's see what's in the trunk. All right, so it looks like we have a big enough gap here. I might even just pry it down with a screwdriver and tuck the wiring in behind this panel. And then this Jeep has the factory headliner. So I'll probably come up around here, tuck it in underneath the headliner, and then just have the wiring. I could probably catch it on here for when it's not in use, tuck it in there. We'll get it all wired up and then we'll have power and ground. We're all done with the installation. The interior is all put back together. So the wiring harness for the whip is tucked in real nice in the panels. And here it is. I can actually run it inside the headliner up here and come out the seal up top where the whip is going to be hooked to the rack. I keep this rubber plug on it in case I accidentally turn the switch on, and so it won't ground out and blow the fuse. It's not on right now, but here's the ground. You have to put the ground wire on first. That's that. We'll tighten it up and then plug it in and turn it on.